The Palestinian Islamic Jihad released this video of its street fighting against Israeli soldiers as it joined Hamas in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis. Israel, which earlier released its own video of the fighting, called Tuesday the most intense day of combat in 5 weeks of ground operations, and said this was the bombing of a Hamas military compound. Even while under attack, Hamas managed to launch more rockets at Israel, but the end result was the same. More Palestinians pouring into overwhelmed Gaza hospitals.
There is no life-saving health service in the hospitals of the southern Gaza Strip. The hospitals have totally collapsed. They cannot deal with the quantity and quality of injuries that arrive at the hospitals.
The head of the World Health Organization says it had to move medical supplies from warehouses in Khan Yunis to a smaller warehouse in Rafah, which led to a delay in the planned delivery of medicines to relief agencies for their health facilities. A few dozen humanitarian aid trucks have arrived in Gaza each day since last week's 7-day truce ended, but the U.S. State Department is demanding Israel allow more in. And the State Department issued a rare rebuke to Israel over violence in occupied West Bank, saying it was revoking U.S. visas of anyone engaged in violence.
This includes unprecedented levels of violence by Israeli extremist settlers targeting Palestinians and their property, displacing entire communities, as well as violence by Palestinian extremist militants against Israeli civilians.
In Rafah, where hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have gathered, there is no more precious commodity right now than clean water. There's one water desalination plant in Rafah.
May God help us. This is the last station. Water is 2 kilometers away. You have to wait for 3 hours in line. You hold water on your shoulders. There is no washing, no food, no drinking. There are no medicines, no food. The situation is very hard. We take a bath once a month. I am 63 years old. I am carrying the gallon on my shoulder for 2 kilometers to get water.
Meantime, the U.S., Qatar, and Egypt are said to be working on trying to get a ceasefire back on track, one which would see a longer pause than the last one. Andy Rosejan, TRT World.